Well, hey everybody, welcome to the latest in the Innovators series of interviews. And today I am very privileged to have with me someone who I consider one of my closest friends in the industry, none other than Mr. Anthony Bonavista, who is the Executive Vice President, Chief Venues and Development Officer for the Rock Entertainment Group. Anthony, thanks for joining us. And maybe can you just tell us a bit about yourself, a bit about what Rock Entertainment Group does?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And thank you for, I didn't know we were best friends. So thank you. I appreciate that. I don't have many friends. So the fact that you think I'm a friend is really something I will take near and dear to my heart moving forward. But I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, Steve. As you know, Momentus is a big part of our day to day here. My team raves about it, and I know we just had a new update with you guys here shortly. I mean, just recently, and so continue to be a helpful part of our day to day operations. So to explain what Rock Entertainment Group is, Rock Entertainment Group is owned by Dan Gilbert, who is our founder and owner of the Rock Entertainment Group, which owns the Cleveland Cavaliers, Cleveland Monsters, the Cleveland Charge, soon to be named the Cleveland WNBA franchise. And then we run the Rocket Arena, which is obviously the arena that the Cavs and the Monsters play in. And then we have other development opportunities that maybe I'll get a chance to speak to here as we get into this. But that's kind of the nuts and bolts of what Rock Entertainment Group is.
Perfect. Perfect. Um, so a few years back, you guys took a pretty unique approach to modernizing the venue, right? So instead of rebuilding, which is what a lot of people do, you went the route of renovating to completely reimagine that fan experience. Can you tell us why you took that route and what it means to the fans?
Yeah, I think the Cavaliers moved from a pasture basically outside the city where they were literally by themselves in nowhere um, to downtown Cleveland. And those of you not familiar with the landscape here, we sit here, Rocket Arena, and then right next to us is Progressive Field, which is where the Cleveland Guardians play. We have an unbelievable relationship with those guys, and we're in the core of downtown Cleveland. And so for us, picking up and moving somewhere or doing something different made no sense. We have a really, really strong building that's got great bones. So it just needed to be updated. It was built in 1994. As you know, the world was significantly different back then, based on technology, based on security. And so we wanted to find different ways to make the experience better. I love being in Cleveland. I've been here 17 years now, and but there are moments in time in December and January that it's pretty cold, right? And so, and most of our season is on the Cavs side is in those cold months. And so, one of the big things we did was expand the building and encapsulate the front of the building in a beautiful atrium that allows us to get fans into climate controlled conditions before we take their ticket. They go through security and then they come in. They're able to linger and hang out until we're ready to open the doors, and then we open the doors. So they're inside of the elements. They're not outside. That was a big driver for us. Obviously we needed some infrastructure work to be done as part of it, but no one cares about that stuff. It's all back of house and not the sexy stuff. We also, the building was built very traditionally back in 1984 with belly up concession stands and retail stands, and the world was changing and we wanted to be more inclusive and have people gather and be together and do all that. And it was wonderful, and we finished the renovation in October of 2019 and then shut down in March of 2020. So not great timing on our part, but we still feel like it was the right move. And as we got back into the business and seeing the fans that have come through here over the last 4 to 5 years, we feel pretty good about what we did. And we're constantly evaluating what we do and how we do it, but like it was good money well spent, and it was a good thing for Cleveland and for the city, and it just helps us be continue to be the best economic driver. Because when you look for NCAA tournaments or other big tentpole events, they're looking for venues that are up to date, I guess is my point.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's very cool. And it sort of leads into my next question too, which is, you must have seen some pretty big changes in how things are done over the 17 odd years that you've been there, and involved with the venue and with the Cavs. What do you think the single biggest change has been though over that time? Has there been one?
I mean, technology has obviously been the biggest change, the
Yeah,
driver of technology.
yeah.
If you allow me a quick story, one of the things, our owner's amazingly passionate, and his expectations are very high about us collectively and how we do, and all of his businesses. Rocket Mortgage is one of the best companies in the world, right? So, which he started from nothing. So he knows the grind and he knows what it takes, and so he expects us to do the same. So way back, I guess, dating myself here, before my son was born, my oldest son was born, so a while ago, we started to get in, started to understand Dan and how he operated, and then Twitter became kind of the thing. People started to tweet, and I didn't have a Twitter account. I didn't know what it was, but he did. He got a Twitter account because he believes that all we do is we're a technology company that happens to do mortgages. We're a technology company that happens to play basketball. Like that's the way he thinks about things. And so, long story short is, he got a Twitter handle, and people literally started to tweet him about issues in the building.
Mm.
Cup holders were the big one, right? Their cup holder was broken. So I'd be at a game and I'd get an email, not text back then, from him saying, "Why are the cup holders broken?" And I was like, "What? What? Where's the cup holders?" Like, and so it became so much that I came to my communication staff and I said, "We got to figure this out. Like, we have to come up with a plan that we are seeing this before he does." There was a program, something dash, that allowed us to see all the tweets that were going on. We came up with a dashboard that allowed us to see things before he did so that we could react to him. So when he would email me, he'd be like, "Hey, a couple," I said, "Damn, we already got that. That's like an hour ago. We're good." And then over time, he just started to trust us, that we would, be on it. And that's how we, we kind of overcame that hurdle from him. But, technology, from the minute I got here, has been at the forefront of my involvement, my development, and I think it's going to continue to be. There's pluses and balances and all that stuff that I think, we're trying to learn as a society, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
But it's a big driver for us, in how we operate day to day.
that's a great story. And yeah, to think that an owner like that would be, getting direct tweets about cup holders, and that's pretty crazy. I can only imagine now how he's going with adopting AI and playing with that too. I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, he's all over it. He's all
Yeah,
over
I
it,
bet.
and
I bet.
he's not shy of opinions. I promise you that.
Look, I've got to know you personally over the years, and I've been very impressed with some of the incredible charity work that you've got involved in. How do you think that this has influenced the way that you think about the role you and the arena play in the community beyond just the content that you're delivering there?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we do a good job of, and I'm proud of, is that we hire people who are predisposed and already built to give back and to do and want to do those type of things. I equate it to my parents. They were just some of the they had no money, but they were some of the most, generous and philanthropic and, just wonderful people as it relates to how they, you know, treated others and how they help people all the time. To see somebody who really, lived paycheck to paycheck like they did, and but yet they would spend their time and do things like, volunteer at the church or volunteer here or do things like that. Like instead of out trying to make more money or whatever. And so, my brothers and I just grew up in that environment. And so coming here where we have isms, we have core values, but some people have different things. We call them isms. It's one of Dan's things that he developed where, it's how we operate. It's kind of at the core of what we do. And he says you do well by doing good. And so our whole mission is to do good first, and then hopefully we'll do well because of it, right? Because that's what we keeps the lights on and pays us and does all those things. But doing well by doing good. And so um, we just continue to do that. I've had the privilege of being able to serve on boards and be part of, programs that move our city forward. And one of the things we just did recently was there's a plot of land across the street from the arena that had been vacant for a while, just a piece of grass. And this past month, we opened up a basketball court there. We built a basketball court. We lit it, painted it. We won the championship 10 years ago, so we were celebrating that as part of it. But we spent millions of dollars to put a court in downtown Cleveland because Cleveland didn't have a lot of municipal courts like that. And I just drove back here from a meeting, and there's a bunch of kids out there playing, and that's exactly what we hope for. And there's no value proposition for us there other than to do the right thing. And so I'm very proud that we do that. And I'm very proud it's at the forefront of who we are.
That's so impressive, and great to hear good stories like that where you're doing things just because they're the right things to do. So kudos to you and to the team there for doing that sort of stuff. I wish there was more of it, especially in the world we're in today.
Yeah.
Um, Look, just to finish up here, what's one piece of advice that you would give to someone that's looking to get into venue management these days, Anthony?
I don't know if I can give one, so I'm going to try to combine it
Yeah,
into
sure.
because there's a lot that goes into it, right? I mean, the sacrifice, the nights, the weekends, the holidays, the time away from family. But when you're in a business like ours, sports and entertainment, you don't recognize or realize that there's a lot of commitment there, and you're going to have support. Like I'm extremely fortunate to have a wife and children that support me and allow me to do what I do. And specifically when the kids were younger, I mean, she was all on her own. I mean, some people travel, and I get that. Like I didn't travel as much back then, but I was here, nights and weekends. It was almost like I was traveling anyways.
Yeah,
So just being mindful that it's not a 9 to 5. And I know the world is evolving and his expectations are different from today's generations, which is all good. Like they deserve it. Technology's allowed that, like just all of that. But nothing replaces the grind. Come in every day and grind. Just come in every day and grind, and good things will happen for you. And the last thing I'll say, and I promise I'll shut up here, Steve, is I don't have a lot of advice for my boys either, right? I don't have a lot of advice for them. I've made every mistake there is, right? And all of that. But since they're little and can understand to where they are today, if I had them here and you asked them what is the most important thing to be in life, they would both answer to be kind. And so I think we need more kindness in our world. We need more kindness in our business. I think being kind is not a weakness. It is an absolute strength, and we should see more people be kind. So come in, grind every day, but be kind doing it. And that's my best advice for people who want to get in this industry.
and I think that's probably the best advice they could get. And if I may say, anyone watching this that is looking to get a start in this industry, you are certainly one of the people that I would say, look at what this guy does, because you not only say it, you live and breathe it every day. So thank you for doing what you do, and thanks so much for giving your time for this little interview with us.
My pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity. You're a grinder, and you've built a business, and I appreciate and respect that. And let's just keep grinding together.
Thanks very much.